Watch and burn.
Yeah, that's better. So tonight I want to discuss the 1992 film Sneakers, starring Robert Redford, Dan Aykroyd, Sidney Poitier, River Phoenix, a bunch of other people whose names I can't recall. There are a lot of mosquitoes here. And the reason that I wanted to discuss this film is because I've already done Hackers, which is like my other favorite computer hacking movie. Well, technically there's three. This is the best, and then Hackers is my favorite, and then there's War Games with Matthew Broderick and Ali Sheedy. They're sort of like the three ultimate hacking movies, I suppose, even though technically Hackers is more like a cyberpunk movie because it doesn't get anything right about hacking. Hacking a Gibson computer isn't a thing. They don't exist. It was a nod to the author, William Gibson. But this movie from 1992 is just about the most accurate look at the world of computer hacking and phone phreaking. There are a lot of mosquitoes here that I think I've ever seen. And I know that they've talked to this computer expert and that computer expert. They talked to Kevin Mitnick, as a matter of fact, and they had him rate a bunch of computer movies. And he said that this was spot on again. This and War Games were incredibly realistic. And that's like my favorite thing about this, because it was like, I wasn't really a big part of like the war dialing 90s, but me and my one buddy, we built a beige box and we built a red box, and the beige box was fun, but having to kick the front off one of the beige telephone boxes is not the easiest thing to achieve, and all the beige boxes are out on main roads. So being able to hook up one of the alligator clipped receivers that we had and try to listen in to our neighbors' phone calls, it happened once. We did it successfully and we were able to fuck with the people. But other than that, it was just too nerve-wracking. We were too exposed. And we kind of screwed up when we built the beige box. We had the old receiver from the phone and we cut the cord right pretty much at the base of it. So like, we had to hold the thing like this while we were doing whatever we were doing at the beige box. So it didn't really work. Now the red box, on the other hand, that was a complete success. That was wonderful, okay? Red boxes, my God. There was a period afterwards too where you didn't even have to build red boxes anymore. Somebody just recorded the tones and then put them up online so you could download them. So you could just go to payphones and clean them out whenever you wanted. But anyways, yeah. We're not talking about that. We're talking about the movie Sneakers, starring Robert Redford and Dan Aykroyd. But yeah, I mean, I love this movie because of how realistic it is, but I also love how there's sort of like the ensemble cast thing going on. There are so many people in this movie. I mean, like I said, River Phoenix, Sidney Poitier, Dan Aykroyd, Robert Redford, and they play, and there's a couple others there. I can't remember who plays Whistler. He's there. Dan Aykroyd's kind of the conspiracy nut. River Phoenix plays the talented kid. And Sidney Poitier used to work for the FBI, but he had to leave because of his temper, and now he uses his connections and his know-how in the federal world to assist his hacker friends. And what they do is they have this sort of criminal conglomerate where they will break into your bank on purpose to test its security and whatnot. But what happens is it's revealed that Robert Redford's character, Martin, he's been on the run forever because him and one of his buddies did a hack back in the 60s, and his buddy got caught. He went to prison. And now Robert Redford is being blackmailed by the NSA to steal a decoding box that this mathematician played by Donald Logue, he's made this sort of, I don't know, this ultimate decryptor of every important American password ever. Like, we're talking like, airports and power grids and hospitals and shit like that. And so the NSA, it's actually not the NSA, it's his old friend who he thought died in prison. He's pissed off at Redford, and he sent his men after him to get Redford to get the box, and then for them to kill Redford for Redford leaving him to rot in prison. And so, yeah, that's the long and short of the movie. But my favorite thing is when they set up in, oh, fuck's sakes, I can't remember the character's name, Redford's girlfriend's apartment, and they completely destroy it with all their hacking and freaking gear. Like, it's everywhere, and it is so realistic, because I knew people that would do this from time to time, and they would have like 30 consoles going, and there'd be wires everywhere. And I remember, like, I'd seen this movie first, and then when some of my friends got into the whole, like, I would say that they got into it through 2600 They just thought that magazine was rad. I am getting fucking eaten alive out here. But yeah, they were so into 2600. And so that's how they got into it. And man, their places like mimicked like Redford's girlfriend's place. And I absolutely love how Warner Brandis, he's an old character actor. He's been around forever. He played the doctor in Seinfeld who made George like purple or red or whatever it was. He looked... What month were you born in? That guy. He plays the character Warner Brandis, and I have that name pretty much memorized because in order to get into his office, in order to steal the box that they need, and yada, 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 the security is very heavy in the building where he works. So my name is Warner Brandis, my voice is my passport, verify me. If you've seen the movie enough times, you commit that to memory. And it's quite funny because they have to piece his voice together through a fake date that Redford's girlfriend goes out on him with. And it's very choppy, but somehow it works. I also just love how the cast plays off each other so effortlessly. I mean, you do have some serious veterans here. Like I said, there's Robert Redford, there's Dan Aykroyd, Sidney Poitier. And even though he was a little young, River Phoenix was showing maturity well beyond his years. So everybody in this, they just gel really well. And I believe them as one sort of like cohesive hacking unit. I don't have a hard time buying that they would be doing this for a living because they just do everything so realistically. And I love at the end how Whistler, who's blind, has to drive the truck through the parking lot in order to escape. I thought that was brilliant too. James Earl Jones pops up in this for like 30 seconds. Of course, it starts with just his voice because his voice is rather iconic. If I'm not mistaken, he played Darth Vader in Mufasa. So, and then of course, the man himself, like the physical man himself, James Earl Jones, shows up at the very end. So you have James Earl Jones in this for all of 30 seconds as well. But yeah, this movie is a party. If you were into like the whole hacking, freaking thing, part of the whole war dialing 90s, you'll be able to definitely appreciate this movie. Or if you just got into hacking, freaking in general, it doesn't have to be from the 90s. It's just people from motherfucker, they're everywhere. But people from the 90s will definitely remember this one fondly. But yeah, look, I'm going to go. So thank you so much for hanging out with me while I discuss the 1992 film Sneakers. I almost said Hackers, starring Robert Redford, Dan Aykroyd, River Phoenix, Sidney Poitier, and James Earl Jones for 30 seconds. Like always, if you like this review, don't forget to do something nice for somebody. But most importantly, please don't forget that the world is a better place because you are in it. And I'm going to go before I get West Nile. Have a good night. I just wanted to say thank you for making it through the entire video. I really appreciate it. And I'm going to remind everyone one more time, even though I've probably already done this in the video that you just watched, to please click the like button as well as the subscribe button because it helps this channel grow. And thank you for hitting like and subscribe. And we will see you guys really soon.